In this brief lecture, I'm going to talk about how to understand academic research. So the first key to understanding academic research is to understand that academic writing is like joining a conversation. So think about it. You're the writer, and often you might literally be sitting by yourself writing, working on your research project, but you're not really alone. You're actually surrounded by all of these other scholars who have done similar work on your topic. In other words, you're entering a conversation with people who have already talked about the topic. Whenever you read research for your annotated bibliography and write about that research in a literature review section of a research paper, what you're doing is you're acknowledging the other voices, the other scholars and researchers who have come before you. There's actually a metaphor for this that Kenneth Burke established, this idea of the academic research process as entering the unending conversation. And this is what Burke says. Imagine that you enter a parlor, which would have been like a living room. You come in late, but when you arrive, others have long preceded you. They're engaged in a heated discussion, a discussion too heated for them to pause and tell you exactly what it is about. You listen for a while until you decide that you've caught the tenor of the argument, and then you put in your oar. Someone answers, you answer him, another comes to your defense, another aligns himself against you. However, the discussion is interminable. The hour grows late, you must depart, and you do depart with the discussion still vigorously in process. So academic writing is like joining a conversation for several reasons. First of all, it's really important to recognize that you are not the first one to write about a topic. And you already know this because whenever you're doing research for a research log or an annotated bibliography, you're noticing that other scholars have already written on your topic. And that's a good thing. That indicates that people care about what you're writing about and they're also interested in it. Also, like in a conversation when you write, you might come across different viewpoints from yours. You might have noticed that whenever you're collecting research for a research log or annotated bibliography, there might be some researchers who kind of agree on one point and another group who takes a different approach. And that's completely fine. It's the same as if you entered a party and you walked up to a group of people and they were debating an issue, you'd have a couple people who have a particular view and side with one another, and then you'd have another group who has a different perspective. And it's really important to be respectful of those perspectives and to listen for a while before you talk. So we listen to the conversation to find out what is going on, who has said what, and what the main points are, right? You would do that before you start talking. Otherwise, you would be considered to be rude. So it's the same thing for writing. So first you read about your topic. It's a form of listening to what other scholars have said. It gives you context. And also, whenever you enter a conversation, a literal conversation at a party, for example, you build on and extend the conversation. So you might agree, but with a slight difference with another writer or with a peer at a party. So your goal of writing a paper is to build on and extend the conversation that came before you. So it's very helpful to think of academic writing as joining a conversation, because what it means is that you're not just regurgitating what everybody else said, you're also going to contribute something new.